Welcome to the Business of Cleaning. We're the podcast that brings cleaning expertise straight from the minds of professionals. For the month of December, we're going to focus on something extremely important in this industry, and that's employee retention and engagement. So keep listening, because you're going to want to hear this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Business of Cleaning. As you know, we're tuning in for the entire month of December to talk about employee retention and engagement, one of the biggest hot topics for the cleaning industry right now and always, really. And so what I want to talk about for this episode might actually not be one of the initial things you think of, but it's hugely important, and that's the core values and mission statement of your company. And the reason I say you might not think of them off the bat is because usually I've seen a lot of companies that create them and forget them, or most of their staff doesn't know they exist or only have a vague idea they're there. And the reason I bring this up is because if your company doesn't know its core values and its mission statement, they're not relatable, they're not relevant, and they're not doing anything for you. So how does this tie into a retention and engagement, right? Okay, this is a strategy question, not an employee question. Well, it's all the same. If you can't line up your strategy, your core values, your mission statement with what's going on in your company, then your company is not lining up what it's doing with all of that either. And so the reason we need to reassess sometimes our core values and our mission statement is because there are a bunch of words that mean nothing. If you go out and you interviewed every one of your employees right now, you would probably discover that 90% or more have no idea what your mission statement is and probably don't know many, if any, of your core values. Why not? Isn't that supposed to be what aligns your company? What ties all of these people together? What takes all of these individual workers and makes them one unit that operates together? I mean, I think so. So one thing that you need to do is you need to assess your current core values and your mission statement and what you're in business to do. Your mission statement is supposed to tell the world, this is what we're going to do. It is essentially a promise of why you're in business. If your promise is a giant thing that you pulled off the internet that nobody in your company understands, then they're not working towards the same thing. So what you need to do is, let's look at the mission statement first, for example. It doesn't have to be long and complicated. If half of it is full with aspirations and things that don't make sense to even you, let alone your employee, then it's doing nothing for you. Some people's mission statement might be, let's get the job done. Let's be the best cleaners in this city. Mission statements like that, it can be one sentence, it could be two sentences. I mean, you can stretch it and make it three, but generally think shorter and simpler, straight to the point. Your mission statement is what you're in business to do. In addition, always reassess and reevaluate your mission statement. Your strategy might change over time. Your employees might change over time. And to be honest, once you've given birth to a business, it tends to become an entity that's not just your idea bubble, but that of your collective group that you've brought together. You've picked these people, you've built this company, so you have to trust in their judgment. When you're creating a mission statement, when you're creating core values, ask them what's important, why they're there, what they think the company is, and build from that. Again, it brings back to our previous episode of idea of tie it back to the employees, because ultimately they're the ones doing the majority of the work. But really think about that. Think about what's important to your company. Who do you want to be? What do you want to look at? A lot of your core values in your mission statement come back to something even bigger too. It's your branding. Who are you as a company? We spend a lot of money on marketing sometimes, and we create a brand with colors and a logo and words that mean who we are. And sometimes that's our mission statement. Sometimes that's our core values. But that's not only our brand. Our brand is our people. Our people represent who we are. If they're not tied together by a common goal and the same core values, then your brand might be a bit scattered, or it might have a negative outlook. Think of it this way. Every single employee is a brand ambassador. What have you taught your brand ambassador to share with the world? Do they have a good relationship with you? Do they know your core values and your mission statement? Does your employee relate to your core values and your mission statement? And does your mission statement and core values relate to your employee? If there's no unity, you have no brand unity, and sometimes that can create a negative image. So things to keep in mind. I would say do not just look up on the internet mission statement ideas, because right off the bat, it means absolutely nothing to you, and it's going to be nothing to your employee. So essentially, you just created something that was useless and took time for no reason. Think about it. Put a little elbow grease in and come up with a mission statement that, while it may be simple, it actually relates to what you're in business to do. If you want to be the best cleaners in your city, that can be your mission statement, and that is perfectly fine. As far as core values, think about the things that your employees, your company, and you value most. Bring them together and then narrow them down into a shorter list of things that rise above the rest. And so I have some ideas. One thing that's big today is open-mindedness. We think of that on the management level as being open to an employee situation, diversity and inclusion, things like that. Open communication. That was our very first episode for a reason. If you don't have open communication and transparency, you probably don't have happy employees and a happy work environment. Collaboration. You're a team. I think that one might be obvious. Attention to detail and cleaning for health. Those are two ones that I picked in particular for the cleaning industry because those are huge things today and any day. If you have employees that value attention to detail and cleaning for health, they're ultimately going to try to do the best job they can. They're going to spend a little time doing things, a little more extra time doing things if it means the job gets done right. And the more they do it, the more they get efficient, so don't worry about it wasting time. A positive attitude. Doesn't mean they're all happy rays of sunshine and they're, from like Sesame Street or something crazy like that. It just means that they're not bringing negativity to the table every time they sit down. And that's important because negativity bleeds through the workplace like spilled water. It's not pretty. So bring people in who are going to at least come with a more optimistic, positive attitude and not bring down the atmosphere. As I mentioned before, diversity, I think, is a huge thing. Bring new ideas and a diverse set of people to improve your workplace overall. Reliability is huge and maybe sometimes not always thought of or thought of too often, but being reliable, being present, that's hugely important to all of us. Honesty goes kind of hand in hand with the open communication, but valuing honesty just means that you're going to value trust and a stronger relationship with your employees overall. And the last thing I would say is commitment and dedication. You can't create passion. So a good thing to think about with core values is think about the things that you would like to look for in people coming into your workplace. Some of these things you can train, but a lot of times like commitment, dedication, passion, you can't train. You have to look for that. If somebody comes into your interview with a negative attitude, you probably know you don't want to hire that person from the start. Just keep that in mind. Whatever you do after listening to this episode, do think about your core values. Think about your mission statement. Think about what they actually mean. And then, whenever you get time, ask your employees. You might be shocked at the answer. Thank you, and have a great day.